Toyota key fobs do more than lock and unlock your doors. Most owners use maybe 2 buttons out of a system engineered with far more intelligence than the average driver ever discovers. These aren't aftermarket hacks or sketchy internet tricks. They're real functions built into the fob and the car's body control module by Toyota engineers, sitting there quietly, waiting to be used. Once you know them, your key fob stops being a simple clicker and starts acting like a genuine command center for your car. Let's get into it. Secret trick number 1. Window roll down from outside the car. Most Toyota owners assume the only way to lower the windows is from inside, using the door switches. But on many Toyota models, holding the unlock button on the fob for a few seconds will roll every window down at once. This is not some hidden Easter egg. It is a deliberate feature tied to heat management. When a Toyota sits in direct sunlight, cabin temperatures can climb well past what is comfortable or even safe for the interior plastics, the infotainment screen, and the seats. By venting the cabin before you even open the door, Toyota lets that trapped heat escape, which means your air conditioning system does not have to work as hard the moment you start the engine. That reduces strain on the AC compressor over time and gets you into a cooler car faster. The system is controlled by the body control module, and it is designed to stop instantly if you release the button or open a door, so there is no safety risk involved. Owners who discover this in July or August usually cannot believe they went years without knowing about it. Secret trick number 2. Using the fob to locate your car with sound, not just lights. Everyone knows the horn chirp and flashing lights help you find your Toyota in a crowded parking lot. What most drivers miss is that pressing and holding the panic button doesn't just trigger an alarm for security. It's also one of the fastest ways to locate your vehicle in a massive parking structure where flashing lights alone are hard to spot from a distance. The horn will blast repeatedly, and the lights will flash until you press the button again or unlock the doors. Toyota engineered this dual purpose specifically because parking lots at airports, stadiums, and malls make visual location difficult, but sound carries. Many owners think this button exists purely as an emergency deterrent against theft, and it does serve that role too. But using it as a locator function is completely intended and something Toyota never really advertises. Secret trick number 3. Emergency engine start with a completely dead fob battery. This is the one that saves people from a stressful situation more than almost any other. A dead fob battery feels like it should strand you, but Toyota planned for this exact scenario. Even when the battery inside the fob is completely drained, the fob still contains a passive transponder chip that doesn't need power to function. By holding the dead fob directly against the engine start button, or in some models against a hidden sensor near the steering column, the car can read that chip and allow the engine to start normally. This isn't wireless communication in the traditional sense, it's near-field reading, similar to how a tap-to-pay card works without its own battery. Drivers who don't know this exist often assume they need a tow truck or a locksmith, when really the fix takes 10 seconds once you know where to hold the fob. Secret trick number 4. The double lock press that confirms your car actually locked. A lot of Toyota owners walk away from their car unsure whether it actually locked, especially in noisy environments where they can't hear the chirp. Pressing the lock button twice in quick succession on most Toyota fobs triggers a visual confirmation. The turn signals will flash, and in some models, the mirrors will fold in if that feature is enabled. This isn't just a cosmetic touch. It's Toyota's way of giving you a clear visual signal instead of relying only on an audible chirp that can get lost in wind, traffic, or crowds. Owners who learn this stop second-guessing themselves in parking garages or busy streets, because the flash confirms it instantly without needing to walk back and check the door handle. Secret trick number 5. Remote start that actually preconditions the cabin, not just the engine. Many Toyota trims with remote start capability let owners start the engine from the fob. But what surprises people is that the system doesn't just idle the engine, it also activates the climate control settings you last used. If your seats were on heat and the AC was set to 72 degrees, hitting remote start brings the cabin to that same condition before you ever open the door. Toyota does this because starting the engine alone accomplishes very little if you're still stepping into a freezing or sweltering cabin. The system pulls your last climate settings from memory and applies them immediately, so by the time you're actually in the driver's seat, the temperature is already dialed in. Owners who only use remote start to warm the engine block are missing the comfort half of what the feature was actually designed to do. If you're finding this helpful so far, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It genuinely helps me keep making videos like this one. Secret trick number 6. Automatic relock protection. If you forget the door was unlocked, Toyota fobs are designed with a safety window built in. If you unlock the doors but don't actually open one within a short period, usually around 60 seconds, the car will automatically relock itself. Plenty of owners think this is a glitch, especially when they unlock the car from a distance while still walking toward it and find the doors locked again by the time they arrive. In reality, this is intentional theft prevention. Toyota builds this in because unlock signals can sometimes get triggered accidentally, whether from a fob bumping around in a pocket or bag, or from a stray signal in crowded areas. Rather than leaving the car exposed and unlocked indefinitely, the body control module protects it automatically. Once you understand the 60-second window, you stop being confused by it and instead just time your approach a little better. Secret trick number 7. Sharing limited access through a valet or secondary key. Most Toyota owners never dig into the settings that come with a second registered key fob, but Toyota builds in the ability to restrict what a secondary fob can actually do. Depending on the trim and model, a secondary key can be limited so the trunk stays locked, or the top speed and stereo volume are capped, similar in spirit to a valet mode. This matters most for families handing keys to a teenage driver, or for anyone loaning their Toyota to someone they don't fully trust with unrestricted access. The restrictions are configured through the vehicle's settings menu rather than the fob itself, but the entire system exists because of how Toyota programs each fob individually to the car's computer. Owners who never register or understand their second fob's capabilities are leaving a genuinely useful safety layer completely unused. Secret trick number 8. Low battery mode that still lets the car recognize you. When a Toyota key fob's battery starts getting weak but isn't fully dead yet, the fob's transmission range shrinks dramatically before you'd ever notice a difference in button response. This means the fob might still unlock the car standing right next to it, but stop working reliably for passive entry, meaning the door won't unlock automatically just by touching the handle the way it normally would. Toyota engineers this gradual range reduction on purpose because a fob that suddenly cuts out entirely with no warning would be far more frustrating than one that slowly requires you to get closer and closer. If you've noticed your Toyota only unlocks when you're standing right at the door instead of a few feet away like it used to, That's almost always a weakening battery quietly telling you it needs to be replaced long before it fully dies. Secret trick number 9. Using the fob to control power windows even after you've walked away, within a limited window. Building on the roll-down trick, some Toyota models allow you to close the windows remotely too, not just open them, by pressing and holding the lock button after you've already stepped away from the car. This exists because drivers sometimes forget a window was left cracked, especially after using the roll-down feature to vent heat, and realize it once they're already halfway across the parking lot. Rather than walking all the way back, a held lock press will bring every window back up and seal the cabin. Toyota limits this function with the same door open safety logic as the rest of the power window system, so it won't close on an obstruction, but it saves an enormous number of return trips for owners who simply forgot to double-check before leaving. Secret trick number 10. The fob's built-in battery saver mode for long-term parking. Toyota key fobs are constantly listening for signals from your car, even when you're nowhere near it, which slowly drains the internal battery over weeks and months. For owners who travel or who have a second car that sits for extended periods, Toyota built a way to put the fob into a lower activity state. On many models, this is done through a specific button sequence, typically pressing lock, then unlock, then lock again within about 5 seconds, which the car acknowledges with a distinct flash or chirp pattern different from a normal lock confirmation. Once active, the fob reduces its background signal checking, which extends battery life significantly during long-term storage. Owners who don't know this often come back from a 2-week trip to a completely dead fob battery, when a 5-second button sequence before leaving would have prevented it entirely. Bonus trick: registering additional fobs without a dealership visit. On select Toyota models, owners can actually add a new key fob to the car's memory themselves using a specific sequence involving the ignition and existing working fobs, without paying a dealership programming fee that can run over $100. The exact steps vary significantly by model year and trim, which is exactly why Toyota doesn't advertise a single universal method. But the capability exists on many vehicles equipped with smart key systems. This matters most for owners who lose a fob, buy a used Toyota with only one key, or want a backup without an unnecessary service appointment. It won't work on every trim. Some higher security configurations do require dealership equipment, but a surprising number of Toyota owners pay for a service their car was actually capable of handling on its own. None of these tricks require modifying anything or voiding a warranty. They're all sitting inside the fob and the body control module exactly as Toyota engineers designed them, just never fully explained in the owner's manual or during the dealership walkthrough when you bought the car. Once you start using even a few of these regularly, the fob stops feeling like a basic accessory and starts feeling like the small but genuinely capable piece of engineering Toyota actually built it to be. If you found even one of these useful, stick around, because the next video breaks down the maintenance habits that help Toyota engines cross well past 200,000 miles without major repairs.